size of the stage. Right? Look at the size of the audience. We're in Minneapolis, babies. Rock in the house. How you guys doing? It's too early for me to tell. Got my coffee. Wow, the stages.
Right? It's like a proper stage.
This is a proper stage. It's a proper auditorium.
Not really a proper audience, though. You should know. Right?
But I like that it's an improper audience.
Right, exactly. It throws everybody off who walks out. It's fun for us to watch the surprised look. For starters, usually when you take the stage, by the time you take one step on stage, you're already in Billy's personal space. Like you're just like, yeah.
This is cavernous. This is like a whole new country. I mean, bigger than the Vatican City.
We have, Mark and I have known each other a long time. We've all known each other a long time. There was a while there at the beginning when Mark wasn't doing conventions, and he and I were talking about it and said, well, what's going on? What's it all about? You know. So I finally coerced Mark to come to a show and hang out at karaoke and all these things. And Mark was a very reserved fellow when you don't know him that well. He's, kind of assesses things from a distance, as he was doing on the convention circuit early on. And he would sit backstage and be like, I'm not going out there. I'll just sit here and watch. Want a scotch? Well, I might have one. And about 2 hours later, super reserved, ominous, intimidating Mark Pellegrino was standing on cocktail tables singing Big Balls. So the man...
Well, at least I'm capable of change.
That's what I'm saying.
Adaptation and change.
And expect the unexpected. Don't rest on your laurels thinking you know what this man is, because you do not. Ladies and gentlemen, Minneapolis, Minnesota, God, Mark Pellegrino.
Hi, guys. I got you later on. Work.
Sounds scary.
What's up, guys? Are we going to have a little conversation? Just the 1,000 of us? Let's do it. I love the Q&A thing. I love answering the questions. I think I can answer them better now. I don't know if you've heard, but I've become a bit of a supernatural fanatic myself. I resisted it, for years, because I'm a contrarian. And if somebody says you should watch this, I say, fuck off, I'm going to do what I want. I'll watch it when I want to. You going to watch it now? No. Notice how I channeled the little Mark Shepherd. No. Well, a few months ago, I started watching the show. I'm in the middle of season 10. And I'm a little addicted. An evening goes something like this. Turn to my wife, Tracy. You want to watch a little Supernatural? Yeah, let's watch it. One show, that's it. Okay, one show. Turn it on. 5 shows later. 2 o'clock in the morning. We should really sleep. I know, but Sam's dying and the angels are falling. We gotta see what's happening next. Look, we're in a car and they're talking to each other. Don't they realize that last season he was dying? Oh, it's a dream. Now I'm on the roller coaster ride with the rest of you. I'm a happy addict. Right? It's a good addiction. I think the one thing that this world lacks nowadays is a respect for the heroic. And one thing that you get in spades in the show is heroism and loyalty. Great virtues, right, for all of us to aspire to. Especially when the world seems so dark, you need to know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And the light at the end of the tunnel is virtues like loyalty and courage and all the things that boys practice in spades. All right, guys, let's do a Q&A. Let's do it. Who do I go to first? Meeny, miny, mo. Go ahead.
I'm Ashley. I Misha's portrayal of her character Lucifer?
Well, first of all, I got to say that I was really honored that he came to me and spoke to me about it and wanted to learn how I would do things, because he wanted to portray Lucifer in a way, sort of the way I would with his own spin on it, which I thought was a really cool thing to do, because he didn't have to do that. And I've only seen a few scenes because I'm only in season 10, so I'm not quite up there yet, but the scenes that I've seen were really funny. And that's what makes Lucifer lovable, right? Is that he does really bad things, and he really likes that he's doing the bad things, and it's sort of fun that he's doing terrible things to people. And I think Misha probably captured that very well, but I won't be able to tell you until season 12 starts, because that's when season 11 comes out on Netflix, right? What is the logic behind that? Huh? Yeah, I know, but I'm ready for season 11 right now. Why do I have to wait for the beginning of season 12 to get my season 11? I want it now! So anyway, I was honored that he chose to sort of incorporate some of my characteristics into his performance. It was a nice homage.
Did you give him any tips?
Yeah, we sat down, we talked for a little while, and my wife was shadowing the director during the episode where Misha came out as Lucifer, and they would text back and forth, and in between takes, and she would say, "That's not Mark. Oh, that is. Stick with that." You know, so yeah, he took notes well, apparently. Is that weird? Is that weird? What's up?
Hi.
Hey.
My question is, if you had a hellhound, what would you name it?
I already have a hellhound. I have 2 hellhounds.
What are their names?
Frankie is one hellhound. He's my little dachshund hellhound. And Johnny. Frankie and Johnny. And the Claire and Lou. If you had a hellhound, what would you name it?
That's a good question.
Gertrude. It's got to be something like
I
Gertrude.
like that. That's a good one.
Or Bunny.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hello, Puffy.
Probably Fluffy after Harry Potter.
Huh?
Probably Fluffy.
Fluffy's
after
good.
Harry Potter.
That's good. I like Fluffy. Hellhounds. Those old hellhounds. Do we have other questions? You guys are so far away. This studio, this thing is cavernous. I'm looking at pet points walking from one end of the stage to the other. What's up?
Hi. So I wanted to know your opinion on what you thought about when you were acting hallucinated Lucifer in season 7.
What I thought about?
Well, yeah, because so I suffer from depression, and that Sam's struggle was very powerful for me to watch that, and I thought you did a really good job of portraying just like the constancy of mental illness.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I mean, for me, it was not a matter of thinking so much about that, which is a great thing to get from a series of scenes like that. For me, it was just about torturing Sam. And that's all I tried to do, is make him as miserable as I possibly could. And the more miserable he looked, the more satisfying it was for me. Isn't that terrible? But I think Sam had an interesting solution, right? What was the solution to the Lucifer in his head problem?
Well, initially pain, which is...
Well, focusing his attention outside of himself, right? That's what I think that did. And for me, I've suffered from depression and generalized anxiety disorder, PTSD, you name it. I'm in the same boat with many of you guys. And the only thing that helps me with things like that, take it with a grain of salt, because we're all individual, right? And we each need our own unique means of approaching these problems. But for me, putting my attention on something else, it's something that's beautiful, another thought pattern, helps me sort of derail that spinning internal thing that can just send you into into a pit of despair. Right? I mean, so that, what do they call it? Mindfulness meditation really helps me understand that I can control the content of my thoughts and where they go, and that the thoughts don't have to oppress me or overcome me. That there's, and I'm talking about people without brain dysfunction, guys, without chemical disorders. Of course, you need help in that area. I'm just talking about situational stuff that you can sort of control with your will. So I thought that was an interesting solution for Sam. At first I made fun of it. I'd be like, what the fuck? Oh, but yeah, right. Do that, Sam. Do it! But it does work. It does work, I've found. Right? I mean, I think we need the beautiful in our lives. Don't you think, guys? We focus on a beautiful piece of art, and it tells us that it's achievable, that good is possible. Because when you're in a state of depression, there is no good that's possible, right? So it's good to come into the now and to understand that it is achievable, even if you don't feel that at the moment. Somewhere down the line, the law of undulation is going to swing in the right direction, and you'll recognize the beauty for what it is.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks. Take care. Yeah, we're all in this human family together, aren't we?
Yeah.
Right? I think the supernatural family is sort of a real concrete example of that, because we all try to help each other out, right? Lift each other up. Give each other words of wisdom and advice, because we're in battle. We're in the trenches together, yeah? And what use is it all unless you're being of use? Unless you're helping your fellow man out. What's up?
Hey,
What's up?
I wanted to ask if you have any vices, any bad habits that you want to get rid of.
Oh yeah. That's the title of my biography. Vices and bad habits that I'd like to get rid of. Sure. I think I don't know that I should consider emotional states vices, but I think they can be vices if you let them get the better of you. I think being fearful can be a vice. Believe it or not, I have fearfulness. The way I grew up, kind of put that into my soul as a default mechanism that I have to overcome every day. If you grew up tough in tough circumstances, your body and brain adjusts to that turmoil. And kind of forms you into something that's not necessarily good for your life, and you have to every day, it never stops, I'm sorry to say, every day overcome what your early life has given you. So definitely fear, not any kind of fear, some fear is very rational, but irrational fear. I think procrastination, right? Fear of my own goodness too. So there's fear of being good, fear of being recognized, fear of standing up and owning something. Procrastination's a big one, guys. Big one. Especially as a writer. I'm writing now. And I do just about anything else but write. So I have to get off Twitter, write. So procrastination is an ever. I think those are my main ones. I constantly have to remind myself to be active-minded. You can get set in a way of looking at the world and sort of impose that map on everything instead of rigorously searching for the truth, rigorously being rational. See, that's a fault, is allowing myself from time to time not to be rational. I think our culture teaches us to respect and emulate and embrace the irrational, and I think that does not give us the proper tools for living and happiness, to be honest with you. We've embraced emotionalism as a culture, and so it disarms us for dealing with our emotional issues, believe it or not. So, yeah, the rigorous attention to reason takes almost monk-like discipline, and I don't have that yet. But at my age, I'm starting to get there, and I'm starting to see the validity of a philosophy that I've embraced for many years. But I'm actually starting to see how it works, and that's weird. You can learn something for a decade or 2 decades, and suddenly after that time, look at the concept and go, Oh, it is right. Isn't that weird, the way knowledge trickles down into your subconscious? Was that enough? Was that too much? Awesome. Thanks, sir. Life is interesting, isn't it? Right? Interesting? Even the challenges, even the bad stuff. I've been overcoming a challenge since April 20th. My best friend of 30 years committed suicide. Hey, on that note, sorry.
Hi.
What's up?
I'm Brooke. Wow, my voice sounds weird. My question for you is how playing Satan and even watching the show has changed your personal beliefs and just who you are.
Good question. I've learned to have a great deal of respect for the character of Lucifer. Sort of immediately he appealed to my rebellious side. I despise authoritarianism, and I respect human liberty. And the fact that he was the first rebel, and that forever, since the beginning of time, he's been vilified for questioning authority, for simply asking an authoritarian, why? Somebody wanted to applaud. I heard a teeny bit of applause, tentative but brave, because you were the only one. That fact that he was an anti-authoritarian, that he had pride, which is an emotion that has been handed down to us over the generations as an evil thing, when it's not. It's made me feel like, even though I'm doing this little show that's filmed in Vancouver, I'm actually standing, and I do bad things in the show, I'm actually standing up for the principle of autonomy, for the principle of independence, for the principle of your own mind directing your action, even though it's directed in the pursuit of terrible things. So I feel like Mark Twain sort of did, that Lucifer's been given a bad rap, and I need to stand in the gap and rewrite a little bit of our moral history. So it's not that he's changed me and playing the part has changed me so much as the more I understand certain concepts, the more wedded to him I become. That's so weird. I'm not saying that no matter who plays him, I'm the real Lucifer. I'm just saying I get the guy. What about you? Do you get those virtues from Lucifer?
Yeah, I really did, and it's really changed my beliefs just watching the show because, I was an atheist until I was 10 years old, and I got thrown into Catholicism by my grandpa. And now I'm just kind of floating, and I see Lucifer kind of, not as Satan, not as like the devil, like king of hell, but more like a prosecutor angel.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, interesting. The bringer of justice. Well, we could talk about that. All right, guys. Good. God, you guys are making me think. This is... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Deep Thoughts with Pellegrino. I like being real with you guys. I don't fuck around. I'm not here to entertain, I'm here to build. I'm here to love you. I'm here to learn. I'm here to grow, be better. What's up?